Hello friends, welcome to the D.El.Ed program of Environmental Studies, which we also called EVS. I am Dr. Romila Soni, working with the Department of Elementary Education, NCERT, New Delhi. Today our topic is Meaning, Significance and Types of Learning Resources in EVS, topic number 31. Now let's see what we are going to focus in today's session. Focus of today's session is understanding the significance of learning resources, need and significance of learning resources, meaning, definition of learning resources, difference between learning resources and learning material, criteria of selection and utilization of learning resources. Now come on, we are going to understand in detail what do we mean by need and significance of learning resources. Types of learning resources and learning material, what a teacher can do to make the classroom resourceful, how the teacher can make the classroom resourceful and attractive. Let's see in detail. Do you know what learning resources are and learning materials are? I hope you must be knowing what the learning resources are and learning materials are. And we need to understand also, is there any difference between the two? Between the two means learning, what are the learning resources and what are the learning materials are. Come on. Let's go further and understand each and everything in detail to make our understanding better. Why the use of learning resources in EVS is critical? Because environmental studies is the process of recognizing values and clarifying concepts in order to develop skills and attitude necessary to understand and appreciate the relationship between humans, culture, and biophysical surroundings. I think you must be finding it very lengthy to understand. Now let me make it a little easier and better for you to understand. Learning resources helps to understand the concepts and any difficult thing very easy, because learning resources and learning materials develop the skills and attitudes to understand the relationship between humans, culture, biophysical surroundings. It makes the learnings very, very easy. So teachers, you need to plan and you need to collect the learning resources and the learning materials to make your EVS classroom very, very attractive. So let's see how we are going to make our classroom interesting. Why the learning resources are important? Why? Why we need the learning resources? Because it provides opportunities for our children to explore, construct ideas and knowledge. Learning resources provide opportunities to collaborate and solve problems and develop skills in children. And what are the skills? Which we also keep on talking about, the process skills. And these process skills are very, very important for understanding the EVS concepts. Teachers can use variety of stimulating and exciting learning resources as well as learning materials. And your classroom becomes so interesting and so stimulating that your children just want to come to your classroom and never want to go back. So you can believe that there will be less dropout rates if you are going to make your EVS classroom interesting and children get motivated to come to your classroom and never leave your classroom. So let's see more how we are going to make our classroom attractive. Outdoor-based learning processes are effective in EVS. When we talk about need and significance of learning resources, it does not get limited to indoor or only inside the classroom. Yes, we can take the EVS learning outside the classroom, that we call beyond the classroom learning. So outdoor-based learning processes are more effective in EVS. Whatever theme, whatever concepts you are taking, you can always take your children outside to make your learning more effective. This helps the children to make their learnings, abstract learnings, understanding better and faster. Environmental studies aims to enhance the cognitive ability that we call critical thinking skills, capacity to learn and resourceful in children that we call the confident learners. Whenever we call our children, how do we want our children in the classroom? Yes, we want our children to be active, smart, independent, have critical thinking skills, and independent and very, very resourceful. All these characteristics in children help children to learn faster and better, and they look forward to come to the classroom daily and regularly. It makes children curious about social phenomena. Curiosity is the beginning of learning. So the more your child is curious, the better is for the teacher. It starts with the family and moving into the wider space. Let me explain you more in detail. Many times the teacher and the parents say, मेरा बच्चा मुझे why बहुत पूछता है. कुछ भी बताऊं तो ये बोलता है, इसका मतलब क्या? ये क्यों हुआ? ये क्यों हुआ? That's very good. It means that your child is alert and active. The more the children ask why, it means your child is engaged in the learning and your child is active. So active learning is must in the EVS classroom. EVS learnings and the learning resources provide direct learning experiences to children. So it makes the learning more interesting. And again, as we talk about experiments, learning resources also makes the learning experiences direct. Children learn faster and children learn smarter. And today is the time of smart learning. Now let's learn more about how we are going to make our classrooms more smart and our children smarter. Learning resources are devices and procedures that help to make teaching and learning more interesting, stimulating, and effective. This is the perfect definition of learning resources. So if you're going to define what learning resources are, you're going to say that it is the procedure that makes your teaching and learning stimulating and effective. Learning resources are a little different from learning materials. We are going to talk about and we are going to differentiate between what are the learning resources and what the learning materials are. Now, first of all, we need to know what the learning resource is. A learning resource is a source from which learning benefits are produced. It is required to accomplish an activity or to achieve the desired outcomes. Desired outcomes means what you want your children to learn. Learning resource can be a discussion. You can take the children outside for a nature walk, encourage children to observe, come out and come back to the classroom and discuss about what they have observed during the nature walk. You can take the children outside for to a grocery store where you can plan a study on a grocery store and you can talk about how food is collected. What are the things you can relate it with the grocery store? So you can create a map or a concept mapping for the grocery store. So that you call a learning resource. Let's know more in detail what we are going to understand by learning resources and learning materials. Well, the learning resource include learning materials. It is not the learning materials that include learning resource. It is vice versa. Learning resource include learning materials along with the other learning opportunities. So in short, we say that learning resource include learning materials and plenty of learning opportunities which a teacher can create. Teacher means you. Which a teacher can create through discussions, lots of questioning to the children in the teaching learning process. The more you question and the more you encourage children to ask the question. We say that the best classroom is that classroom where there is a freedom to ask why. So the more your children ask why, it means your class is going just wonderfully. It means that you have stimulated your classroom. So encourage children and engage children in a small group discussions, which we are going to learn in problem solving as well. And encourage children to ask questions and answer questions. Let's go further. Now, what the learning resources include? What are the things that is included under learning resources? Text. Text can be anything. It is a digital text. It is a written text which you see on the TV, on the laptop, as everywhere in the environment. That is the text, written text. Then the digital material. Now, digital material can also be explained in a form of, like, if you use the TV or ask the child to observe and watch the TV, any kind of a channel like Discovery Channel, National Geographic Channel, that is the digital material. So that is a resource for you. That is not a material, that is a learning resource as a digital material. Then comes the classroom discourses. Classroom discourses where you engage children in discussion and interaction with peers, elders and teachers. Discussion can be any form. It can be a whole group discussion, it can be a small group discussion, it can be a buddy discussion. And encourage the interaction with peers. Children learn better and more from the peers than from us. The other material that the teacher uses to assist children to meet the learning expectations outlined in the curriculum. So whatever is in the curriculum which is helping the children to meet the learning expectations are all comes under learning resources. Let's learn further. Now, this is a very important thing. As a teacher, we must know what is the difference between the learning resources and the learning material. You have already learned about learning resources. Now, for our convenience, we are calling here learning resources as LR and learning material we are calling here as LM. So, let's see how we are going to differentiate between the two to make our understanding better. LR is learning resources are devices or procedures that we have already know: discussions, watching a particular channel on the TV, that's a digital material. Text, for example, as you can see on a TV screen, is digital material. What is LM? Learning materials are concrete, manipulative materials, that is textbooks, EVS textbooks, or any kind of a EVS information material, magazines on environment and worksheets that is specifically prepared and designed to do any activity focused on EVS studies. Let's know further and know more about what is the difference between learning resource and learning materials. Now, learning resources are, as we already discussed, classroom discussions. Healthy, stimulating, motivating, active. Classroom discussions are learning resources, where you encourage children to do brainstorming, interactions with peers and adults. So as I said, interaction with peers is a very, very healthy thing and very good for learning resource. Adults can be, it is not necessarily every time it's a teacher. It can be any visitor to the classroom, or when you take the children outside to a nature walk, to a grocery store or to any other site. There the person, whoever, like a farmer is talking to a child, can become an adult for an interaction, leading the interaction. Opportunities. Provide plenty of opportunities to children where they can construct their own ideas. That is the best thing, because we say and we believe that children learn when they construct ideas during the experiment and using it as a learning resource. What are the learning materials in comparison to learning resource? Books, plenty of books, information books, textbooks, these all are learning materials. Newspapers, news clippings. So it's not necessary that you're going to give the whole newspaper. You can cut the news clippings, particularly focused on in EVS, and then you can display it on the board, put it in the scrapbook and encourage children to read it and go through during the buddy system. As we always as a teacher need to remember, the children learn best through buddy system. Children love their buddies as we love our buddies. So pictures, posters, photographs, drawings, these are all learning materials. Teaching aids. Teaching aids are treasure for the teacher as well as for the children. Children call it as a learning aid, teacher call it a teaching aid. So globe. Globe is difficult for the children, but teacher can make it attractive to make it simple for the children and focusing on one particular part when using the globe. Videos. Videos always try to focus on small clipping instead of showing a lengthy videos. Films. Children love films. Only thing that the films and the videos need to be age appropriate and content appropriate, and lots of age appropriate equipments for EVS. Let's go further. Now, what should be the criteria of selection of learning resources and what should be the criteria of utilization of learning resources? As a teacher, we need to be very, very careful that we need to select the learning resources according to the age of the child, according to the development of the child. Every child's need is different. Every child's learning style is different. You cannot compare one child with the other. You need to remember that each child is unique. Each child learns at his or her own pace and learning style. So, as a teacher, you need to select the age-appropriate resources to fulfill the desired learning outcomes of EVS. And then you're also successful and your children also successful and there is a smooth transitions. Selection of learning resources depends on relevance of resource to the content, concept and theme. It is not that as a teacher, I like this learning resource very much and I am attracted to the learning resource very much and just because of that I bring it to the classroom. No, not at all. It needs to be relevant to the content, concept, theme and do not forget the need of the children. Now, what is the criteria of selection, utilization of learning resources? We need to learn more on this. We need to see the potential to create interest and motivation among children. Every child has a potential. As a teacher, I need to realize the hidden potential or in each and every child. Where does the child interest lies and what motivates the child? I need to take care of this. Never forget this. You are a hit teacher if you focus on these things. Every child is going to enjoy your class. Ease of use by the learner. Learner is your child. The child needs to be comfortable in your classroom settings. The child cannot learn if the child is not comfortable in your classroom. If the environment is not comfortable, the child is not going to learn comfortably. So the environment needs to be comfortable according to the child. Availability. Principle of accessibility. Learning resources, learning materials need to be available at easy accessible place. If the material is stored in the closed cupboards, it is no use of children. So keep the materials at easy accessibility. Storage of material needs to be placed at the open shelves where the children can look at it and has a hands-on experience and enjoy it, manipulate it and learn from it. Let's go further. So, as we say that we have a lot of faith in all our teachers and you are very creative than us and you're going to make your classroom very, very attractive and very, very stimulating. So, do you trust yourself? Are you a creative EVS teacher? Yes, you are. Aren't you? Yes. So, you are going to use a variety of resources available around you. If you just look around, you will find that your environment is full of resources. It's not that you're going to depend on resources. You want to teach colors, environment is full of colors. You want to do sorting, your environment is full of material. There are colorful leaves, there are colorful seeds, there are colorful flowers. So use the environment material. You need to develop the ability to identify them and use them effectively. And you're going to be hit with your children. So let's see what are the tips of the teacher and how you're going to make your classroom more stimulating. Well, there are community resources. What are the resources? There are community resources. Each person who live in the community can be a resource. Yes, a farmer can be a resource, a gardener can be a resource, a ironsmith can be a resource, even a potter can be an important resource for you. Even a parent can be a resource. If a parent is having a pet at home, the parent and the child can bring the pet in the classroom and it can be a resource for you. For example, Nirmala's father is a farmer who can help children understand much better about plants in general than you. Needs of the plants of Nirmala's father is a better person to explain about needs of plants and weeds in particular. So let's see the sample sheet. What your children are going to do. Interview the farmer. Record the interaction and the interview with the farmer. How the children are going to talk with the farmer. Think about meeting other people in the community like policeman, defense personnel, potter, teacher, and so many around you. Even a teacher can be a community resource. So there you can see an activity sheet is planned for you and how you're going to plan the interview with the farmer. Like source of irrigation, what the children are going to talk and how the children are going to interview the farmer. That's just a sample sheet you can create on your own. Institutional resources. Institutes such as public service sector ones can be a very effective local learning resources. A teacher can plan and coordinate the visits to relevant institute. School can also be an institute. A post office can be an institute. This also ensures real life link built into the teaching learning process, such as public hospitals, bus stations, as I said, post office, police stations, banks, post offices, Gram Panchayat offices, municipality offices, museums, melas, fair, which you popularly called farms, zoos, gardens, parks. But one thing you can need to be ensured that always take a prior permission from these offices before taking your children to these places. Media resources. These are just popular and loved by today's children. Media provides a set of learning resources that is popular and easily available. And children get attracted to the media sources very much and they learn faster. The most important advantage is that children learn about current environmental issues very easily. Now, what are these media resources include? These are the local, national and international newspapers, magazines, TV channels like the Discovery Channel, as I said earlier also, the National Geographic Channel, radio programs on Gyan Bharti, Vivid Bharti, environments related websites, portals. You can also ask children. Today children are more smarter. They know more other channels apart from Discovery and National Geographic Channel. So it is a teacher learning from the children as well. Technology resources. Media is also a part of technology resources. There are a number of technology resources available to support the teacher in the process of teaching and learning. What are they? Today's generation, as I say, are good at using technology, smarter generation. It makes teaching learning interesting and attractive to children. They learn much better and faster from technology than from the text. Mobile phones, computers, camera, e-learning are some examples of using technology resources and EVS. Human-made resources. How can we forget that we are the ones who are making resources and making it more interesting? So, as a creative teacher, create effective learning situations which are human-made. You can ask children to make a list of it. The more the children make a list of it and more the children are engaged in it, the more active their brains are. You will get the names of pen, pencil, glassware, papers, etc. These are some expected answers from the children. But when you will do it in reality with the children, you will find that the children are really creative. This becomes a source of bringing analogy, comparing, modeling, puppeting, etc., which can be used in different activities to help in concept formation in children's mind. So, we can make our EVS so interesting and so stimulating by making use of our learning resources. Environment resources. Natural environment is said to be a good learning resource for EVS. As I said, our surroundings are full with learning resources. Elements of nature like hills, ponds, grasslands, forests, oceans, they excite children and create curiosity in them. What is happening? Why it is happening? What will happen? These kind of questions they ask. And as we discuss in our other presentations also, outdoor-based learnings are very effective for the teacher and for the children. Children love it. Visits can be a natural heritage sites, and nature camps can also be very effective. And believe me, if you're planning for the nature camps, children get so excited, and such kind of learnings are generally lifetime because they are actually doing it. Just recall and look again. What are the resources we learned for resources for EVS? This is a quick glance. So community resources, which we call carpenter, shopkeeper, parents and teachers. Institutional resources, bank, hospital, office, universities. These are just sample you can create on your own. Resources in nature, river, jungle, pond, soil, ocean. And remember, you have to make your learning contextualized. Media resources, television, radio, posters, advertisements. Children just get attracted by the advertisements. Technology resources, mobile phone, camera, audio, recorder, computer, internet and CD. Human-made resources, pen, chair, pencil, waste paper. So this is a quick glance to have a quick learning for your active brain. What a teacher can do to make the classroom resourceful? Well, learning resources need to be based on the curriculum. If you are going beyond the curriculum, it needs to be age and developmentally appropriate. Never forget that you need to see the needs of the children, age of the children and developmental level of the children. It must take social considerations into account. Use classroom games and activities as teaching strategies. It makes learning faster and permanent. Give children choices. It's not that I am the teacher and you have to do only this. No. Give children choices. Children love you for that, and it will also inculcate decision-making skills in the children. It makes children independent. Now, when we're going to conclude, we always say that use learning resources and materials to make your teaching learning effective and interesting. So keep your classroom active and become an active and creative teacher. Thank you so much and enjoy with your learning resources and materials.
हिंदुस्तान के हर कोने में नौजवानों के पास प्रतिभा है, उन्हें अवसर चाहिए।
NIOS देता रहा है युवाओं को अवसर आगे बढ़ने का। NIOS से पढ़ने वाले इन युवाओं ने किया है संस्थान को गौरवान्वित। दिव्यांगों ने बन के दिखाया है सबल और आत्मनिर्भर। NIOS के साथ आप भी जुड़िए NIOS के संग।